Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Our 2026 conference may be over, but the learning is not stopping. My name is Melody McAllister, and as the director of ASTE, I'd like to welcome Pete Brunetta from Brisk Teaching, one of our newest sponsors, and the second in our post ASTE webinar series. But before we get started, I want to thank Pete and Brisk Teaching for being part of our ASTE conference this year. We could not do this annual event without our sponsors. In a short amount of time, Pete has become a friend of mine. He made an impression with our community as well. The people behind the ed tech are always the secret sauce. So glad to have you here today, Pete. And today, our viewers will receive a 60-day premium subscription, and one ASTE member will win a $25 gift card. Without further ado, here is Pete from Brisk Teaching. He's going to share how we can get started with this amazing platform. But, and I mean a big but, Pete, I know you're a former educator, you're a husband, you're a father. Can you share a little bit more about your background?
Hi, everyone. Yep, I'm Pete. I'm with Brisk Teaching, as Melody just shared. Thank you so much, Melody. I was, in fact, just a couple minutes late with showing up to this meeting because I was with my daughter. I'm a family man. I'm busy. I had to pick up my daughter from daycare. But yeah, I'm going to just blow up my screen here. As Melody said, I am a former educator. I'm originally from Syracuse, New York. I taught middle school ELA for about 5 years. I had the great opportunity of looping with my students from 6th grade to 8th grade. So for any middle school teachers participating today, you can understand that we get to know each other very well and their parents. But yeah, I have my master's in education. I'm really aligned to mission-driven work. That's why I'm at Brisk. So I'm really excited to share about how you can save time with Brisk today and how you can enhance some learning with your students.
I love that, Pete. I need to save time. Pete, what did you think about the ASTE conference?
Amazing, warm, hospitable, really great conversations. Definitely like one of the best conferences I've been to. So I'm really looking forward to next year.
Yay, yeah. Oh, there's like applause. I could have, but I don't know how to do the applause so quick. All right, great. Okay, you have a presentation, and I'm going to share it right now. And to all of the people watching, thank you so much. And whether you're watching like as we are live streaming or whether you're watching afterwards, if you have a question, drop it in the comments, and Pete, we can answer it. And even if it's after the live stream is over, we can still answer it. We want to hear from you. Let us know where you're watching from. Are you on spring break? Did you go to ASTE? Do you want to go to ASTE next year? And honestly, we welcome you whether you're in Alaska or you're joining from anywhere. We're just so glad you're here. All right, Pete, take it away.
All right, let's do it. All right, so just full disclosure here, I'm going to be jumping around between some slides and also just demoing Brisk. I think that's like the most impactful, just seeing like how Brisk works in action. So with that, let's just jump to a couple key slides here. And I'm going to be skipping through quite a bit here. So I think this is a great place to start. Like, what is Brisk Teaching? So Brisk is an education platform, comprehensive education platform that integrates into existing tools that you're already using to create dynamic curriculum, simplified differentiation, and really identifying what students need. So this is our B logo here. As you can see, I have my extension, and this is one of the main components of Brisk. It brings in-the-moment support directly into the tools, embedded resources teachers are already using, such as Google Documents, Google Slides, websites, PDFs, so on and so forth. Then we also have Brisk Next, which really acts as like a AI thought partner and helping, like partnering with you and planning materials and creating materials. And then lastly, we have Brisk Boost. This is the student-facing component where students can safely, securely use our AI in a very constructive manner, directly correlated to assignment to enhance their learning. Quite opposite of like how many students are using ChatGPT. So we'll get into these three components of Brisk today. I won't be able to get like too far into the weeds with these tools. So if you are interested, I'd love to set up some follow-up time with anyone that is interested. But with that, I think we should.
And we will have a Q&A time at the end. So If you have any questions, you can do it while we're do it immediately live streaming, or you can ask at the end. So we'll answer those questions. And you know what, Pete? We can do more of these. You know, if we get a lot of interest and people want to know how do we use this, we can do more.
Yeah, and I think more is necessary. Like Brisk is super comprehensive, but I always tell people just start slow. Like identify like where you're spending a lot of time as a teacher, and then find the tool that Brisk can help with that. So always start small. Start with like one to two or three things. So maybe it's like creating a lesson plan or creating slide deck presentations, and then from there it snowballs. You become a Brisk champion and you're leveraging all the tools. All right, so I think curriculum intelligence, I'm not going to get into that today. That's for the follow-up sessions that Melody just mentioned. So just kind of like high level view of those three components we just talked about. So this is our extension. So I can open it here and you can see our suite of AI tools. And what really separates Brisk from other AI tools out there is because it has this extension and it goes where you go as a teacher. It's like, think of it as just like your little AI assistant that goes where you go. And it can really take static materials and make it dynamic with our AI. And as we know, teachers like want to be as efficient as possible. You're wearing multiple hats. You only have so much time. So instead of having to go to like another tool or another platform, our Brisk extension here is going with you.
So Pete, when you say our extension, you're talking like a Google extension, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, if you go, I can put this in the chat, briskteaching.com. We have, if you're also a Microsoft user, that's perfectly okay. We do have an Edge extension as well. So we support both Chrome and Edge. And just by going to the link that I think Melody is going to share in the chat, if you can't see it already, you'll just go to the top right-hand corner, click Get Started, and then the rest from there is pretty self-explanatory. You'll want to create an account with your district email, your district domain, answer a few questions, and then that will subscribe you to our free forever plan. But as Melody mentioned, there will be a QR code at the end of this presentation where you're going to get a trial for the full premium version of Brisk.
And I did drop it, so just you can get the extension. I didn't spell extension wrong. I'm sorry, guys, for all the teachers. I just realized that.
It just means you're human and not AI. That's how I justify my misspellings all the time.
I love it. There's got to be a balance.
Right. All right. So going back to our, oh, that's the wrong button. So I talked about how Brisk overlays the tools you're already using. So it works with Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, Google Forms, YouTube videos, PDFs. It can be images or files that you upload. And it works with websites as well from your Chrome or Edge browser. And so the idea with the extension, we're trying to enhance high quality instructional material that you're already using in your workflows, to quickly differentiate materials to meet the personalized and the personalized needs of your students, and also give feedback on student work. It says student writing here, but we can give feedback on most forms of work. And I want to just get right into the demo. So I'm going to skip these slides and I'm going to go to just a random website. So we're on the BBC website, and this website is it's an article about bringing back California's redwood forest. So say you find this on a Sunday night and you want to share this content with your students, you can click the extension and you'll see our suite of tools here. So I'm going to start with Create. When we click Create, you'll see our curriculum essentials. So our most popular tools will be up here, like creating a quiz, a podcast, a presentation. But if you scroll down, and you won't see these other ones, this is just my personal demo account, you'll see our curriculum essentials. So maybe you need help with creating depth of knowledge questions, or decodable text, or a math spiral review, or maybe you're just like, you're calling in sick that Sunday night and you need a subplan. We can build a subplan based on this BBC article. So I'll just use I'll start with our most popular tools.
Well, I was going to say, you had me at Math Spiral. That's something that our curriculum is heavily lacking in personally. And I mean, making sub plans is a nightmare. So, yeah.
Yeah, I
Those are
remember
my
all
two
too
favorite.
well, like calling in sick at like 5:30 in the morning, and my dean of middle school responding, well, okay, well, where's your sub binder? What is the sub doing for the day? And instead of just going back to bed, I'm now like planning for my sub for the next like 45 minutes, but I should just go back to sleep because I have a fever 102.
Right.
So Brisk is here for you.
I love it. I love it. And it's an extension. You can do this from an extension. That is so cool.
Yes, absolutely. Just pull out your device, use the extension, find something you want to share with your students, whether it's like a YouTube video, a website such as this, and then you could quickly create a presentation. So I'll create 3 things at once here because you can select up to 3 things. So I'll go with a quiz, a podcast, and a presentation.
Ooh, I love that.
And
podcast.
next, it's going to ask me to enter a prompt for each of these. For the sake of today's demonstration, I'm just going to keep the prompts as basic as possible, but just know what you input is what you'll get for the output. So if you want something very specific, make sure that you are prompting something very specific. So I'll set this for 9th grade. I'm going to do multiple choice questions, and you can set up to 20 questions. I'll just do 5. And I'll hit next. Next, I want to create a podcast. You can set the length of the podcast. I'll do 1 to 2 minutes, but you can do up to 9 to 10. You can embed your Alaska State standards. I'm going to leave those out. Hit next. And then lastly is our presentation. So create a presentation about this webpage for 9th grade. It can be up to 20 slides. I'll just do 5. And you can incorporate images if you'd like, which I'm going to do. Hit next. The last thing it's going to ask for is just a presentation style. So I will go with groovy because I think you're a groovy bunch of people. And then say brisket.
Brisket.
And so
yeah.
Now Brisk is going to create this bundle for us. Just like that, we now have a quiz that's just finishing up being created for us, a podcast, and a presentation.
Wait, did it create a podcast or find a podcast?
It created one.
What?
So we can start there. So if I just click this, it's now going to open up a new tab within our web application. And what it did is it turned that article about redwood conservation from the BBC website and took that the content and converted it into a 1 to 2 minute podcast that now your students could listen to as a do now activity, just to like increase engagement.
What if our students wrote the podcast? Could it turn that, or wrote the script? Could it turn that into a podcast as well?
Yeah, totally.
That's
yeah.
incredible.
So if like students have like their own Google document, say this is like an untitled document and they're typing in here, then they would just hit the extension, go to create, and then they could create a podcast of whatever they're creating. That's a great use case. Yeah. So that's the thing about Brisk. It's not prescriptive by any means. It's like, it's really like, there's so many applications and like your creativity inspires what Brisk generates really.
Wow. I love that. I think, I've been a podcaster for several years now, and getting kids though, it can be challenging to get them into it. But really, like, this tool is just, it makes it so easy. I would probably be the teacher to show it, but then also make them do it so that I would say, hey, it's really easy. It's not as hard as you think. Watch this. Brisk can do it in like 30 seconds. And then build one of our own.
The caveat here is this is teacher facing, so students wouldn't be able to create podcasts, but they're involved in the creation of it. So if like a teacher's like, hey, we're going to create a podcast, you create the transcript and then I produce it and then we can listen to it as a class.
I love it.
Yeah.
Still great. Wonderful.
And so yeah, I can play this podcast if I can find it. There you are. Real NPR vibe here. Just give me a thumbs up, Melody, if you can hear it.
Oh, okay. I just like the tape thing. I can't hear it. Is
Oh,
it
it's not
start?
coming through.
Okay.
I don't know how I share audio.
Um, is it playing?
It was.
Okay,
And
hold
that's
on.
not a really big deal. It's just a very pleasant voice just reading the transcript.
Yeah, that's cool. I think there is, but it's probably on your end, and you might hold on if I don't know.
That's
It's all
okay.
right.
Not super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Maya and Jordan here, and they'll just go back and forth with like a real NPR like interview vibe, like a podcast. Now talking about restoring California's ancient redwood forest.
Wow, that's great. I love
Um,
it.
we also asked it to create a quiz. Actually, let's go with the slide deck presentation. I can open this because Brisk plays so well and so nicely within the Google ecosystem. It will open up a Google Slides document and automatically starts generating these slides for us on restoring California's redwood forest. So really important here, Brisk goes by the 80-20 rule. 80% is the AI doing the work for you, right? So creating a slide deck presentation, it takes time. So that's the 80% being done by Brisk, but that last 20% is you, the human, the teacher that can never ever be replaced. Like AI is never going to take your job. AI goes nowhere without the human. In the state of Washington, we say human, AI, human, with human bookending both ends of that experience. And so that last 20% is really critical. That's you coming in here, reading through everything that's created for you, editing it, adding additional slides. You can then just open up our extension here, go to create, add slides. You can translate them. You could then like build a quiz off of this. It's an ongoing process. We're really just trying to like get the process going for you and just make you more efficient, really just to save you time, so you can use that time with your family or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and like not just more efficient, but more inclusive. Like you can translate it. That's incredible. And the high school next door to my elementary school has the most uh, different spoken languages in the country. So and like that's an incredible tool. And also something about Alaska is just preserving the Alaskan Native languages that are spoken here. This could be a great tool to help that. And I know there are schools that are for like to preserve, and that's their mission. So very cool extension. Thank you for sharing that. What a win. I gotta give some applause to that.
And I think that's a really good segue, and that did come up in my conversations at ASTE. Was like how do we meet the language needs of students? And another tool here we saw create is simply just change level. So we can click change level, and Brisk will identify the reading level of this article. So it's saying it's appropriate for 10th grade, but we can change it up to 3 different grade levels to then talk about like efficiency in terms of like differentiation and meeting the reading levels of our students. So we can select 3 different versions, but also we can select up to 3 different languages. And
Mm.
so if you do run into a language not being listed here, like reach out to Melody or me, and I can always reach out to our product team and put in a request to get a language added. We're adding languages all the time. We currently support about 55.
Wow.
But yeah, just to show you how this works, like if we go to Spanish, done, and then just click change reading level, it will open up a new Google Doc and just rewrite that article, but now in Spanish for your Spanish speaking students to read.
That's so cool. You know what I would like it to do? In my elementary school, we have a school for the deaf, also in elementary. I don't know how it would look, but wouldn't that be cool? I think that ASL is like the number 3 spoken language, or I don't know if I said that correctly, but it would be cool if somehow AI helped us, to translate into ASL as well. I
I'll
don't
flag
know.
the team. I'll ask.
Yeah. I just love the inclusive aspect of some of these ed tech tools, but Brisk teaching is hitting it out of the park for sure.
And so all these things, they get saved right to your Google Drive. So anything that's created then just gets stored neatly in your folder. And it's there for you to access at any time. If you stop using Brisk, that's perfectly okay. If you get rid of the extension, anything that we've created for you is yours. You own it moving forward.
Nice. Very
How
cool.
are we doing on time here, Melody?
We're doing great.
Cool. Let's see. So we've seen create, a couple tools there. Giving feedback. So as a former English teacher, grading and giving feedback in student work is super time consuming, right? So I'm just
Mhm.
going to switch gears to an example of a student assignment. So this is an example of student writing. It's a literary analysis essay on The Giver at the middle school level.
One of
And
my
so
favorite books.
it's a classic. Love
Mhm.
it. So I can now, being on the student's document that's been shared with me from the student, I can click the extension, go to give feedback, and you'll see our different feedback styles we offer. So we offer batch feedback. I'm not going to get into that one today, but I want to focus on targeted, glows and grows, and rubric scoring. So for targeted, you just select that. Oh, where did you go? And you select your grade level. You would prompt it. I'm just going to keep it as keep the feedback short and simple, use concise but encouraging language. And then I encourage you to upload a rubric. That way our AI knows what to leverage when giving feedback. So you're giving that rubric aligned feedback. So you just click rubric. It's going to navigate you to your files on your device. And here's my literary analysis rubric. And then you just click brisket. We say brisket a lot here, trying to make people hungry. And our AI will read through the student work and provide inline targeted feedback. That's still in Spanish because I didn't change the language. But you can see how we are inclusive and we can provide feedback to students in their native language. So we're giving them like really impactful feedback so they can, make some gains with their writing.
Wait, that is so cool. But I have a couple of questions, and I don't know if they're smart questions, but I just want to ask this anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, when you upload students' work, it doesn't go to nobody's being like it's still safe, right? Like it's not going somewhere else where AI can take it and use it.
That's a
It's not a
really
great.
good question. I probably should have mentioned that earlier, but no, it does not. We don't we're not like training the model with student work. We're not storing any information. We are one of the safest, if not the safest AI tools out there. So we're rated 93% by Common Sense Media, FERPA,
Awesome.
COPPA compliant, if that means anything to you guys. When I was a teacher, it didn't mean anything to me, but Brisk is, it's super safe and secure.
I
Yes.
love that. I didn't know how to ask it like in a smart way, but thank you. And
I got
actually, FERPA and COPA, like, when early on the ed tech scene, I've been doing this for quite a while. It didn't mean anything. We were just trying tools willy nilly and we never thought about it. But now, and, getting scored, especially 93% by Common Sense, that is an accomplishment. So excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, engineers at Brisk. They're the miracle workers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if we come back to our student work here, what's really important here is Brisk does not subscribe to AI doing all the work for you. We're really just trying to get the ball rolling for you. And so that's why you're going to see the feedback pop up in this text box. It's fully customizable. You can tweak it, make it your own. Sorry that it's in Spanish. But when you are satisfied with the feedback, then you would click comment and then it becomes visible for the student and transparent on their student document. So we're really actively trying to keep the teacher involved in the process, make sure that they're reviewing what our AI is creating for them and not just directly going to the student because we don't want our tool to be used that way.
Right. And also, you as an educator, you need to be aware of what your students are writing. So I like that. That's cool because I also was thinking in the back of my mind, if we're letting tools give all the feedback, then how are we still, where do we, because we still need to know the level of writing that our students are at. So that's great. I like that.
Absolutely. And then looking at time here, maybe I'll do one more feedback tool. This time I'll have it in English for you guys.
It's all right. Like I think, Spanish speakers, they're also a very large number of Spanish, like that's another top language.
Absolutely. Glows and grows, thinking about like our middle school and elementary grades. So again, the feedback can be in any of the languages we support. So as you saw, we just did it in Spanish. I'm going to go back to English. I'm going to keep the same prompt here, the same rubric that I have attached, brisket, and this time brisket. Feedback. We're just getting glows, grows, and wonderings for the student assignment.
Oh, cool. What does the first comment say?
Your essay clearly explains how the giver appears perfect on the surface, but is actually dystopian underneath. You effectively discuss multiple themes like individuality, emotions, and knowledge, which shows you understand the novel's deep meaning.
Dang, that is very articulate feedback. I don't have the brain cells for that, but that's wonderful. And if I were a student and that was the feedback, I would feel really proud of that. So
yeah, and if you have assessments where there's an Alaska State rubric that you're using for the assessment, that can be uploaded. That way, you're really providing your students like timely, high standard, unbiased feedback that's aligned to like what your state is putting out there.
Yeah, I love that. It's just the way that we are going, the direction that EdTech is going, the inclusivity, the unbiased, those are so important. And it just gives our students a fair chance. I love it.
And here's the thing with feedback. Not oftentimes, but there's sometimes where teachers will say, like, I don't want AI doing my job. I don't want AI giving the feedback or like scoring the assignment. So there's room for both. This is a tool, and I often tell teachers to not use our feedback tools for the end of the essay, but do it early and often. Like do it after their thesis statement, after they finish like some transitional phrases. Maybe that's the mini lesson for the day. And now like all 30 students in the classroom are getting feedback in that same class to then improve their writing moving forward. Like as a student, that never happened for me. I got my feedback 3 weeks later after my essay was graded, and I was already thinking about the next assignment, and I would just throw that paper in the trash can. We have to think about like what's really important to our students and how we're going to help them improve.
Yeah. Gosh, that is so cool. Could you imagine like growing up and this was, like you're right. Like who even cared at the end of it? We spent all this time writing and then, we'd already moved on. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm with you. And then I think the last tool I'll show today, because I don't want to go too far. And like I said, like there's a lot.
We're just getting started.
Yeah. I think it's just like get the basics down, walk away from this feeling comfortable using some of the tools. Is inspect writing. So another example of student writing here. If we simply click inspect writing from the extension, Brisk, this particular tool uses the version history of a student document, and it provides a playback on how students are writing their essay. So what we're seeing here is in speed 60 times, the student actually composing this assignment. And along the way, it's going to indicate where pasting is occurring by students and like the timeline of their written piece. It's going to provide insights like when, like date and time they're actually working on it at that point in time, total edits on this assignment, and also time spent doing this assignment, time spent doing active keystrokes, not just like keeping the document open and doing nothing with it. And so this is great for two reasons. The obvious one is plagiarism. Like if our students are cheating, right? And let's speed this up.
It's like using AI to see if they're using AI.
Exactly. Yes. If students are pasting in here, it's going to tell you that. And so that's an opportunity to then go have a conversation with your students. Be like, hey, like, I noticed you pasted a whole piece in here. Can you tell me like where you got that from or why? And it's just an opportunity to explore rather than being accusatory, and just find out why students are writing the way they are. I think the more impactful reason here, like the glass half full approach to this tool, is I've had teachers tell me they will project their screen and show like an exemplar assignment being inspected and telling their students like, hey, I'm going to do this with all of your essays when they're done. And it's going to help me inform me who you are as a writer. And then we can do some like small group conferencing and like talk about the decisions you made throughout the writing process. Like, why did you paraphrase this way? How did you embed your evidence? I think it just really like informs the students that like you care, you're really like writing, and the goal is to make them better writers.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And then we have
I was going to say, and give teachers back their time. So everybody's happy.
Yes. But yeah, I think that's a good time to pause. I'd love to take any questions or just like initial, like just gut reactions. If this is like, if there's any oohs and ahs or concerns.
Yeah, and actually, I think we have sounds. This is the sound I was thinking of when it was speeding through. It's did you hear it?
I felt it.
I need to get better at the sound thing. I'm sitting here thinking like I liked the idea when you shared about the podcasting. I'm grading paragraphs. I'm not great like we're building a paragraph in third grade, right? And my second graders are building sentences. So what do you think an activity would be like for my third graders?
That's a good question. I think, let me see here.
And I mean the presentations are great.
Yeah, for elementary, so we have a student facing component that I'm happy to walk you guys through quickly. But I wouldn't necessarily have students like on their own device interacting with our AI, but it's a great way for a teacher to share their screen, um, and like create this like class experience where they can like ask our AI questions. So what I mean by that is, let's see. So here's a YouTube video, crash course, kids on food chains. So this would be appropriate for elementary.
We're doing food chains right now.
All right, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
So I want to boost this.
Okay.
So I'm going to click this red backpack, and we're going to create a boost activity based on this YouTube video. We also work with Kahoot. So I recommend trying that out at some point. Whiteboard has been really fun, digital whiteboard at the elementary level. So I think I'll do that one. But these are all different AI like chatbot or chat experiences that you can choose for your students to interact with. So also really popular at the elementary level is like if you're reading a story, maybe it's like Charlotte's Web, and you want our AI to pretend they are Charlotte, then it's like you could have the students like ask Charlotte a question about like what they did in like a certain chapter, like, and how it contributed to like the climax of the story or something. And like the littles get a huge kick out of it. Like they're like, holy crap, I'm talking to Charlotte right now. So I think that's a really great way to like introduce your littles to AI without them like directly being in front of the device and controlling it and talking to student or the AI.
That is some AI.
But I'll go with the whiteboard. I'm going to set it to third grade. I'm just like creating the assignment. You could add a rubric or standards. I'm not going to do those things right now. And there's 3 things here that are being created for you, but they're all customizable. So number 1 are the questions. These are questions being created for you based on the content of that YouTube video from Crash Kids course about food chains, which you can see here. It's pretty aligned. You can add additional quiz or questions. You could delete them, customize them. That's totally up to you. You can have up to a total of 6 questions. The AI guardrails. So this is how our AI is going to interact with your students. It's very transparent. We're trying to make sure you know how AI is going to work safely and securely with your students. So it's going to act as a friendly, encouraging guide, helping third graders understand how energy moves through food chains, use simple words, and celebrate their effort. Except all hand-drawn work is correct, wobbly lines, imprecise shapes, and rough sketches, because they're littles.
Yeah.
Guide students toward answers with hints and questions rather than telling them the right answer, like ChatGPT loves to do. Keep all feedback brief and focused. Stay on topic about food chains and energy flow and ecosystems. And then lastly, there's some built-in scaffolds that I won't read to you, but these are in place. And so if we create this, we now have this like AI experience for your students on that YouTube video. So they can watch the video here. And then on the whiteboard, it says draw a simple food chain with 4 living things starting with the sun. So I can go over here to our drawing pad and I'll go with, I don't know, the color yellow. And I'm just going to make just embarrass myself here drawing. And then I'm going to make an arrow over to, this is then being transitioned to energy being transferred to grass.
I just did this today on my literal whiteboard.
So students would be able to do this on their own device, and then they can check their work, and this gets submitted to our AI. Our AI is checking the work.
This is crazy. This is, in this couple of seconds, this is like already better than my lesson. I mean, listen, and I didn't even make up the curriculum. I'm just using it, but still, like, but something I'm also noticing is there is a good balance here between, I mean, like, you don't have to use this for only activities. It can be interactive, but you can also use this to help you with your paper and pencil activities. And listen,
Absolutely.
I'm an elementary teacher. I'm still teaching my kids how to write cursive, write print. So we need that good balance. But yeah, I was doing this morning on my real whiteboard, and it would have been cool because I had my students also drawing, right? They were also drawing, but then part of their assignment afterwards was to create, just like you were doing, a simple food chain. And now I have to go through and and grade everything, and it won't take me very long, but I'm doing it tomorrow, right? Because I didn't have time to do it today I had 3 meetings today, and they were all very long. So again, this would have been an easier way to give them feedback. They would have already had it. Tomorrow, maybe they won't care. I don't know. But I do. I love it. And it's got a light bulb moment for me.
Absolutely. It's like, so here you can see like the feedback from our AI. You drew the sun and grass with an arrow showing energy flow. Nice work, but you need 4 living things. And so as the teacher, let's see.
Is this premium or is this like something you can get for free?
Whoops. Great question. This is available with the free version. You can only have, the thing with the free version is you can only use 1 boost activity at a time. But with the paid version, you can have an unlimited amount of these boost activities going at any given time.
Awesome. And if you're watching, we're going to give you that premium subscription that should take you into May. And if you're in Alaska, that's the end of the school year, is the end of May. So I love it.
Yeah. Do you think that's a good place to stop for some questions? Yeah.
I like it. So we've had some viewers and everything. I don't know if we're going to get any questions, but we might get some questions after the fact as well. I'm curious, how do we get the premium?
So to get the premium, you would have to have an administrator reach out, or a teacher reach out and just connect either with me or with my colleagues, and we would just have a conversation about like your total enrollment. And just, we like to have like a discovery conversation, like why you're exploring it, what are your needs, and then we typically would share pricing during that meeting.
Okay, so how do we contact you, Pete?
I can put my email in the chat.
Yep. Is it Pete at Brisk Teaching?
Yep.
Wow,
and then I'll also put my calendar in the chat.
Okay.
So there's multiple meeting types. Choose whatever you think is appropriate for you and your time constraints to grab time off my calendar.
Okay, so I'm gonna share Pete's. Did I spell it all right? Okay, so if you would like this premium, okay, I have a question then, Pete. Like, so I'm a teacher. Yes, I'm the director of ASTE, but I'm also a classroom teacher. I don't know if my principal is going to, is going to, meet with you or anything like that. Would I still be able to get this because I'm an ASTE member if I just contact you?
Yeah. So here, I'll share my screen again. And wait, are you talking about the trial?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. The trial. The trial I have right here. Yikes. It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. I'm like, I can't even get the banner off. Oh yeah, because the banner is in the comments. Okay, but it's good.
If you scan the top QR code.
Oh, okay, here we go.
This will activate a trial for you. I think it's going to say 30 days, but I had it set to 60 days. If you do run into a scenario where it does end after 30 days, reach out to the email that I just shared, and I can extend it through the end of the school year, but it should be set to 60 days.
Okay, so Here's the, I'm gonna take this. Okay, there is Pete at Brisk Teaching. If it doesn't, if you go into if anything is questionable, but he is giving us this for 60 days. So make sure you scan that. I need to scan it. And then if you want to talk with Pete at Brisk Teaching, which is so easy to remember, and then also I put your calendar on here. I think I did. Oh yeah. And I'm also in the comments. If you want to talk more about it, like, or you're a school administrator and this is really blowing your mind, make sure that you do reach out. Pete is really nice. He doesn't bite. In fact, one of our members even said, like, she really had a great connection with you, talking in conversation. So I'm number one, I'm just so glad. Thank you for this. I'm so glad that you came to ASTE. It's so funny how, like, I was walking into the Captain Cook and Pete recognized me, and then I got to know him a little bit better, having some conversations, you know, and I'm just so glad and grateful that you came to ASTE this year. And I'm grateful that all of our community gets to have Brisk until the end of May. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you immediately invited me when I ran into you at Captain Cook. You immediately invited me to breakfast the next day with you, and that's the first time that's ever happened to me where I met like a conference organizer, and they were just like, "Hey, do you want to have a meal with me?" I like talk about like hospitality and like feeling welcomed. Like immediately was just like I got a good vibe. So yeah, the whole team was great. The educators, administrators, everyone involved. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah, and the Captain Cook is an amazing place. So I'm so glad you were able to go. Listen, nobody really talked. Dr. Mendoza, he came. Thank you for watching in from Texas. So here's what I'm going to do about the $25 gift card. If you watch this later and you share it and you tag me or you tag Brisk Teaching, make sure you tag me or Alaska or ASTE or whatever. You will win. I'll pick somebody that does that. Maybe it'll be the first person that shares it. If a lot of people are sharing, one person will win. So thank you so much. Pete, thank you again. You were amazing. I love this webinar. We might have to do another one to get a little bit deeper because I think with the premium, it sounds like you can use different tools. And you did show us quite a bit, actually. But I want to thank you for joining us today. Make sure that you join our community on Facebook where the conversation keeps happening. And you know what else is really cool? When you were at ASTE, I'm putting up the wrong comments. Talk about here it is. You got to meet Mark from Sprig Learning.
Yes.
And he will be on next week. So make sure that you join us next week as well. Mark is also very nice. And I think I put you guys next to each other in the booth. So that was cool. You can
well played. Yeah, Mark's a great guy. You will all really enjoy his webinar next week. So glad I got to meet him.
Me too. Well, don't hop off, Pete. We're going to talk in just a second. But everybody else, we'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching live and or afterwards. We appreciate you. And we're so glad you're part of the ASTE community. See you next week.